Carrilero today. I already know I'm not pronouncing that right, but don't hold that against me. Now this was a tricky one, but also a really enjoyable one to explain, especially in the in-match examples, which we'll get to very shortly. As always, I like to show a few players that represent the role, and this is even trickier because the two players I've got there, I wouldn't say that this role is their main role they're associated with, but it's one that they can comfortably play when you look at the key attributes. So you've got Kante at Chelsea, the workhorse. They're attributes that you're going to need for Carrilero. And you've got Carrilero at PSG, formerly of United. A little shit in the midfield. Again, these are aspects that you need. But both key. Both of them can pass the ball and both have good vision, which is also key. So let's get to it. We take it straight to the descriptions. And this one's a really good one. And I guess this is one that people kind of ignore. So your Carrilero, or shuttler. Oh, we should just call it a shuttler. That would have made my life easier. It's a supporting role. Part of a midfield 3, that's key. You never want to use it as part of a midfield 2, which we'll get to. Or 2 central midfielders in a diamond midfield. Massive yes. The job of these shuttlers to cover lateral areas, so the sides of the pitch. It's what separates a Carrilero from a box-to-box midfielder, and I'd also argue it separates them from a Mazzala as well, as they're not expected to shuttle into the box, merely between the lines. It's only available for support duty because an attack duty would make no sense, and basically a Carrilero on attack is a Mazzala. Where can we slot Carrileros in? Tricky one. Tricky one. I wouldn't start with them. As I keep saying, I wouldn't start with Carrileros because I don't think they offer enough. They offer a bit but not enough. So if you're going to use them, you want to use them in some sort of free in the midfield formation where you're not using out and out wingers. The examples here, the first formation, we've got it set out in a diamond, 4-1-2-1-2. 2 Mazzalas. So I'm going to start the match with a Mazzala. If we start dominating, we'll stick as we are. Once we take the lead, we'll stick as we are. If we're trying to close out the game, or we're starting to get overrun a bit down in wide areas, then I may switch to a Carrilero because they're going to help out the wing backs a little bit more defensively, whereas a Mazzala will do more attacking work. So you've got to weigh that up. One of the most popular formations today and going forward is going to be 4-2-3-1 because of the flexibility it can give you. This is a bit of an extreme example, but it's good for explaining. So I wouldn't be using a Carrilero in this situation because yes, they will cover the wide areas for you and help out a bit, but they're just going to leave you completely exposed down the middle. If you've got 2 Carrileros, they'll start a little bit wider than central, and then they're going to go out. They're going to go out because that's their job role. When they go out, you're just going to leave a huge gap down the middle. So that's one to avoid. You've got to think about your tactics all the time. Carrilero, great role, but if you're going to leave yourself exposed, maybe it's not the right one in the formation you've got yourself set up for. So the main description of the Carrilero role and understanding of it is as a kind of defensive centre midfielder, allowing other players to bomb on. But the key part is it's more defensive when it goes wide. So when he's in the middle and when you're on the attack, he's going to act normally. Maybe slightly more withdrawn than a Mazzala, but he's going to really cover the left hand side and the right hand side. This role is ideal when you're not using wide midfielders. If you're using wide midfielders, there's not a lot of point in it because you're going to get overloaded on that side and leave gaps in the middle. What he's going to do is he's going to do the pressing basically for the fullback. So it's more of a defensive midfield role, and it's not one I would start the match with. An ideal scenario for me would be to start the match more aggressive, perhaps with an advanced playmaker or a Mazzala. Then if you're looking to hold on to a lead or you're getting exposed down the flanks, you could quite easily switch it up to a Carrilero. So in this example, this for me shows it perfectly. I'm just going to highlight Ora there. I know I'm not saying his name right, don't give me shit. He's my Carrilero, right? So if you look out wide, the only player out wide I've got is Alaba. So rather than getting Alaba to cover all of that distance there, we've got a Carrilero on, so he's going to get over there when the ball gets over there, and he's going to pressure and pressure to try and win the ball back. As we run it on, he's still sat centrally there, but as soon as that ball goes out wide now, he's looking, he's going to get involved, the ball goes out wide, over he goes, he's pressing, he doesn't stop there though, he's gone back to their right fullback. Because we don't have a winger, he's going to continue to do the job. Pressing again. Goes back to the centre half this time. Because it's on that side of the pitch, laterally, he's pressing. Presses so much, the ball is forced to go back to the keeper. Attack over. That little 10-second snippet basically shows you what a Carrilero does. So how does it look when you've got the ball? When you've got the ball, what does a Carrilero do? I think that's probably the most confusing bit for people. So if you look at this scenario here, we've got midfield 4 in a diamond formation, which is what you probably should be using a Carrilero in. Base of the diamond is Busquets. Peak is Griezmann. Your two Carrileros is De Jong and Aura. Now if you look at that setup there, you've got Sergio and Griezmann central, and just off to the right and just off to the left is De Jong and Aura. Perfect so far. As we play it on, because we are in attack, we're getting the ball there, look, and Griezmann's got it to Messi. Now as we pause it there, we've got a Carrilero and we've got attacking fullbacks, which is what you should be using. So there's our attacking fullback. Look how high up he is. So bear in mind the ball's going to go down that side, so it'd be interesting to follow what Aura, who is the left-sided Carrilero, does. As we play it on, Messi finds Alaba. Now, if Aura was a Mazzala, he would be bombing up towards Alaba, either going round him to support him on an overlap or diving inside him to get into the box. Because he's Carrilero and it's a little bit more defensive minded, he's going to sit back and just cover that wide area for Alaba so he can just bomb on and carry on. As we play it on, see, he's sitting back, he's not diving into the box, he's staying on the edge. Same goes for De Jong on the other side. Rather than being in there, he stays a bit further back, a bit more withdrawn as we play it on. And he's got no inclination of getting in the box or rather, he's just staying because he's wanting to cover that area there. We've got some interesting key attributes for Carrilero because they cross over to a lot of other roles as well. It's not just about workhorse as we showed in the clips there. You've got passing, which is obviously going to be needed, technique, vision, because they're still expected to contribute higher up the pitch. So unlike an anchor man, a ball-winning midfielder, they're still expected to do things. Now the difference being, there's not a lot of emphasis on things like dribbling, crossing or long shots because they're not going to be right up there, if that makes sense. So your main things you're looking for in your technical side is passing. Tackling's going to be damn handy as well, let's be honest. Now mentals are the main thing. As you can see, all the mentals there are pretty much highlighted. So things like decisions, when to make the tackle, your positioning, work rate. Vision is an interesting one because it combines with passing to show that they're not just a defensive role. And your physicals, it's all about stamina because they're crossing areas of the pitch. They're going to be across and back, across and back. They're going to have a lot of work to do. So it's an interesting role. It's not one I would start with myself, but it's certainly one going forward I'm going to consider when holding on to a lead.